Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cecil from the Oculus Institute, and today I'm going to teach you guys about the transformational mindset. Okay, so I was thinking about something recently. I was thinking about how people view personal development, and it became clear to me that there are three different possible mindsets that you can approach personal growth from. And they will give you vastly differing results. One of them will lead to stagnation, one of them will lead to exponential growth, and one of them will be somewhere in between. So let's walk through this and really flesh out what each of these is, and then you guys can take a look and see which mindset are you really following and how's that working out for you. So the first mindset, and this is the one that the vast majority of people are in, is what I call the stagnation mindset. So people who are in the stagnation mindset aren't thinking about personal growth, or at least not very often. They're mostly focused on, day to day, week to week, getting by, how am I going to do this next week, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They aren't really looking at a lot of long-term future stuff, right? So time horizons are really constricted, and they're mostly focused on stuff that's outside of themselves rather than how they can improve their situation in the long term, right? And so if you have a stagnation mindset, then you're going to be in a situation where things stagnate, they're flat. Right? That makes sense. And this is why you'll see people in, 10, 20, 30 years go by, and they're not doing that much different than they were back then, right? Maybe, the forces outside of them and just like raw seniority in an organization has caused them to move up a little bit and get a couple raises and the odd promotion or whatever. But fundamentally, they're doing the exact same thing and they're not making that much progress. Right? That's most people, unfortunately, right? Because they move away from discomfort, but they don't move towards necessarily what they want. I believe actually in the NLP literature, 85% of people operate by this moving away from dynamic. Now, the second mindset is the growth mindset. So the growth mindset are people who are saying, hey, listen, my goal is to wake up every day a little bit better than I was yesterday, right? And that's a powerful thing, right? Because, if you do that every single day, that adds up to a whole hell of a lot over a year, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years. And so people who are in the growth mindset will very often start to get into personal development. They'll start to read personal development books. They may buy, some information courses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And their goal is to just keep improving a little bit, a little bit, and a little bit. And because they're doing that personal development work, they'll see this kind of consistent, steady growth, and it produces this kind of linear dynamic, right, where they're moving up the line, and instead of being flat, they're making progress. Now, something funny can happen though to people who are in the growth mindset, and that is sometimes in the course of looking for a little bit of growth, they can find a lot of growth. So they'll stumble upon what I call a life-altering transformation. And the way this life-altering transformation happens is that in the course of trying to solve what they think is potentially a small area of growth, they'll discover that what's ultimately holding them back is something much, much, much deeper, a pattern that's had an influence on their entire lives. And because they have a growth mindset, they're going to have a desire to fight through that and to solve that and to fix that once they become aware of it. And that leads to this life-altering transformation. And people who are in a growth mindset will normally experience this on average once or twice in their life, right? Some of them, not at all, some maybe a little bit more, but normally it's the kind of thing that happens once or twice. And sometimes, they'll get really, really attached to it and they'll be like, oh my God, this is like the defining philosophy that everybody should have in life because it was so powerful for them, right? Obviously though, everybody has different challenges and different, burdens and different demons. But it's something where they'll idolize this one transformation because it was just so powerful. Now there's a third mindset though, and that third mindset is what I call the transformational mindset. And the transformational mindset does not aim for steady linear growth. They don't want to do this. They want to aim for having multiple life-altering transformations in their life, right? And not just 2 or 3, but like regularly, right? And so instead of going on this linear thing, they're going to go exponentially, right? Now, people who are in this transformational mindset, there are a couple things that they do in order to get to the point where they can have multiple life-altering transformations. One is they set it as a target. They say, hey, listen, I am never going to allow myself to stay the same. I'm always going to be growing, and not just a little bit, but all out, right? The second thing is that they're going to get really, really good mentors. Because, in the case of, you doing it yourself, you can stumble upon it, but you're going to find them a whole hell of a lot faster if you have somebody who's really skilled helping you and showing you. And so instead of just buying info courses, these people will very often invest in high-ticket coaching because their goal is to have a life-altering transformation with every single coach that they hire. Matter of fact, you don't pay for high-ticket coaching unless you're expecting a life-altering transformation. It doesn't even make sense. So, the people who are in a transformational mindset, they will make those investments not once, but many times in the course of their lives because they want to find the absolute best mentors and they want to get that life-altering transformation as much as they can. I personally shoot to have one of those every year. And I know that sounds like a lot, and I haven't always hit that, but sometimes in 2020 I had more than one that year, right? And it actually didn't really have much to do with the whole coronavirus and all this stuff that most people were talking about. It had to do with other things in my life that weren't really related to that. But that idea of this constant exponential growth, of setting really high standards and hiring the best people to help you move through that, creates this exponential growth that ultimately compounds to create an entirely different life than somebody who's in a growth mindset, and certainly an entirely different life than somebody who's in a stagnation mindset. So I would like to ask you guys, which mindset are you in? Are you, like most people, in the stagnation mindset? Are you, in the growth mindset? This is obviously, you're watching a personal development video right now, so there's a chance that you're in a growth mindset. Or are you one of the few who's in a transformation mindset? Let me know in the comments below. Before you go, I've got a free gift for you. So if you found this video valuable, if it helped you see the world in a new way, and you're interested in building a career that's going to bring you both personal fulfillment and financial prosperity, then I've got a free presentation for you to help you do just that. So if you go to the link below, it's www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. That's www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. Then it'll take you to a registration for a free presentation. It's about 50 minutes long, that's 50, and it's gonna give you the step-by-step process to building your dream career. See you there.